Okay, I'll have to talk kind of loud on parts because I'm making bread in the little bread maker I got. Because I want to make a grilled cheese sandwich. And so I'm making fresh bread to make a grilled cheese sandwich for later. So anyways, it makes these noises, but then it'll go quiet. So, boy, when it started, Max, everything that is new, he freaks out. Oh, no, he's looking over at me. But like when I first brought out a vacuum, all these different things. It's funny. I don't know if he was always living in the streets or something. I just can't believe how much he's changed, how he looks. And I swear to God, it has to do with how he feels about himself. And he's just like kind of like a wild little puppy now. He's the one who made us all get up. And last night, Morty was back to himself on wanting to go out every 2 hours and did a pee on the floor, did another vomit, because I got him to eat some chicken yesterday. And then last night he vomited. Like I just sat there and sat there. And then one of the times he went out, he pooped. So I'm going to go out and look and see. But the poop he did the other day just looked normal. And so I'm going to go and check and see if it looks weird. But it doesn't seem like he has a blockage or anything like that to me. It seems like he's nauseous because when I put the food up to him, he's just like, oh, it was like when Stella was really sick. And I feel so certain. I feel like I'm always getting confirmation on things. I'll tell you something that I think is a little trippy. Is there's a few things I was gonna be talking about. So, okay, I never know where it's going. I just start talking. So I'll tell you something that I thought was a little trippy though, because the stuff I've been talking about throughout this about mind, body, spirit, and about it's all up in here, how you look at yourself. And like, there's so many people who, like, they look at themselves and they think they're, okay, let me see how to go at that. Because it's like, you could look at them and think, oh, well, they're not really that attractive. But what you're seeing that's not attractive is their output. It's them not feeling good about themselves. And so then they look at themselves, they pick up on the sounds around them of like, because it's repelling to some people. And so because it doesn't have to do with what you really look like, because when you start loving yourself, it starts expressing and it starts coming out, and it's weird. And so it all has to do with you learning how to love yourself, and that changes things and even changes your body and stuff. Like because like what I was talking about, there's a lot more to the stuff that is emotional and spiritual than what people realize. They keep going at it in the physical, but they need to start going at it as the emotional and the spiritual. And I don't know, a couple days ago, I was talking about how when you start, like, you can tell yourself, like, I've been talking about this since, for a long time. And so you can tell yourself what you want yourself to look like. Like, like, like I want to, like when I did it, I said that I want to, it's like you go in, it's like you picture it and you compute it. It's like you put it in. It's like you program it into you. And so it goes in. It's like weird science or something. And it goes in, and then your body puts it in there, and it starts telling you like what to do to reach your goals. But you got to listen to your body. And see, this is where there's a lot of disconnect. When people start connecting, there's gonna be a hard part, because they're going to have to face their dark. But once they find themselves connected, it's going to be like, oh my God, who knew life could be so easy? Well, that's why they're trying to distance us from that, because they don't want us to live in this blissful way and loving ourselves and stuff. They want us to live in this distant, distracted, disconnected. They want us in this certain state of mind because we're controllable. And then they use our energy, and it is like the machine feeds them like vampires. That's the only thing I can keep on seeing it like, is just this because it is like they live off of, I don't know. I mean, there's going to be some shit that we're going to have to find out, you know, about organs and shit like that, because there's just too much weird shit. Like, and it's been in our face so much. I can't even believe, what was that I was watching the other day, and I was just like, oh my God. Oh no, this was, I think this was, I have those all the time, but this one yesterday, this movie. So I went on to look for a movie on Plex, on my brother's Plex, which he has a huge movie collection on there. And so and we all, well, not every single person, but, you know, a lot of family is signed into his Plex, because he always gets movies, he always gets all these ones, and some of them are kind of weird, like he'll download them off of, like, and it will be written in Russian or something at the bottom, but anyways, so he has this big movie collection. So I wanted to go on there. I was looking for some movie, and I saw the one, there was the serial killer one, and it had Terrence Howard in it. And so I was interested in watching, because right now he's like way up there in the spiritual community of kind of like disclosure of truth. And it is, and the thing is it's like coming to some of us, like some of us are just like more open channels or something, and so we can see this stuff. And it's just trippy, because when you can see the stuff and the other people can't see it, it makes you seem crazy. So you have to have a certain amount of strength to power through while everybody's laughing at you, because you know it's true, because it's inside of you and stuff. So anyways, you know, the characters that do that have to have like a foundation of strength, to me, which gets built on pain. It's like you go through shit, and that builds your foundation of strength. So don't shy away from going through shit. Like, power through. And then so the okay, I've got like a bunch of open book, or there's like a bunch of pages open or something. Okay, hold on. I go back to here, then when it pulls me over to a different thing, because it's like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. So the other day when I was talking about the that with the body thing, and I was saying it was a whatever the time was, and it wasn't. It was kind of like I was. I really, I have no idea. I have no idea. But so I did that. It was like it was like I remembered it, something about it from when I was a kid. And then I was like, well, I'm going to try that then. I'm going to do that. And it wasn't, it was like, you know, I think since I did it, it was like 10 or 15 pounds. But I'm telling you, you could do it on 100, 200 pounds. You could do it. It has to do with how you see yourself. And then people try and take it in these different ways, but just how they fucking, the other day I was getting me so much about these people with Jesus, Joshua, Heshua, Husha, Wa, Yi, Ya, all this shit. And they all think that they've got, you know, a bigger grasp. And I was like, you know what's fucking weird with all you guys is, you know, if you want to look at it from a certain perspective, that there has been so much hate and division created, and so much hostility and anger and violence in using this fellow's name. Like, stop. Just please stop it. You know, like, stop. So so anyways, wherever it was coming from, and I was feeling good. Like, I was feeling like I was riding my bike all the time. I was feeling good about myself. I wasn't, you know, but I definitely, it was like 10 or 15 pounds, I would say. And it was more in my mind of like going and looking and being like, you know, I really want to like cut here, cut there. And I was thinking back to when I was the closest to my frame was like in high school, before you start, you know, well, I got pregnant like not that long out of being out of high school. When I was right out of high school, I went dancing every night. I was walking like 8 miles a day. Like, I was fit. And so then, and when I went dancing, I mean, I danced on the dance floor for 4 or 5 hours straight. It was like, I'm a fucking dancing machine. Like, I really like dancing. And so, I just got like this guy. Oh yeah, I like dancing too. And then okay, let's go dancing. What? We're not going to dance. Like, I thought you said you liked dancing. Like, what? Why do you lie about these things? So, anyways, so whatever it was, I put it to the test. And so I was started picturing like that is what I want to look like. And I listened to my body, and I've been reading my body's signals since I was a kid. And I always listen to it. I'm very tuned into my body. I'm very tapped into my body, but that is why I seem like such a weirdo to people. Only reason people are even listening to me now is because people are waking up. Otherwise, everybody would still be thinking I was just a total weirdo, because I'm living. I realize this. I've been living maybe in the same space, but I'm like, I see things that other people don't see. I understand things that other people don't. I pick up on things that other people aren't paying attention to. And so, and what I want to talk about isn't what other people want to talk about. And so, I definitely have been oddball out, but that is where you build strength. And I think a lot of people like conform rather, they just rather just like, succumb to the group. And that is what they bank on us. And so I don't know why some of us are just like, nope, it's too uncomfortable to me. I can't be not me. That's just too uncomfortable. I'm only comfortable just being myself. And if people don't like me, I'm okay with it. Like, it's like I'm not okay with people being mean. I don't understand cruelty. I don't understand going in and trying to attack people. And when I'm sitting here talking about not telling people how to be and breaking free and all of that stuff, and then people come in and try and do it to me, it's like, you make no sense to me. You obviously don't listen to me, or you have got something missing in the cycle in your mind. So I don't know. But anyways, back to it with the brain. So you have more control over this, and it's so trippy too, because I can get all these different perspectives of like, and I still have it, like I can, like, I don't know if other people do this, but I will be inside of me, only I feel like I'm inside of me, like I'm in a spacesuit, kind of like what is that, Dr. Robotnik's or something, in the in the Sonic, when he goes inside that machine thing and he starts being all monster. And but that is how I feel inside of me. I feel like I'm something inside of something like that. Like that to me was like, that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm something inside of something like that. And I see myself like that. And so, and I don't know, what other people's vision is like and how they look at things. I think that it creates such a distortion in how we view ourselves. And we're always looking out. And when we look down, we can't tell. So we're looking for feedback. But the feedback that we're getting is on a different level, because it also has to do with our vibration when we're putting out. And when we put out doubt, self-doubt, insecurity and stuff, see, we bring in all other people that are like that. So then we surround ourselves with all these people like that. And then that is where, we start dating in toxic situations, because we're all bouncing off of each other's insecurities. And that is where, you got to raise your self-esteem. Like, you cannot be with somebody who loves you for you when you don't love you for you. You have to learn to love yourself. So then you pull in people who will also love you on that level. It's a different kind of level. It's a leveling up in your self-esteem. That is like this quantum jump, is this going from self-loathing into loving yourself. So, and you have so much more control, and it has so much to do with your programming. That's why they work so hard to program us. And that's why you can reprogram yourself and you can learn to love yourself. But that is where you're going to kind of go at it like that, using your mind. And then what I have noticed, because there is so much dark energy, especially around us right now, but that they'll come at you. So you're trying to be, I'm trying to think positive. I'm trying to think good about this and stuff. And then you get these, like these dodgeballs thrown at you of this, what, no, oh. And it can be all sorts of things. It can be visuals. It can be all sorts of things. As I've gotten this whole thing, like I've gotten it through different experiences, but definitely with the eye thing. And it can even be all of a sudden, you get all these videos of people's fucking eyes have popped out and shit. It's like, okay, just because it happens to them doesn't mean it's going to happen to me. Don't put those things in my head, because those things are where I start putting it into my head, where I start creating it for myself. So that is where you got to block that stuff, and you got to realize that's like your dodgeballs and stuff, but that's where you build your inner strength and you build your spirit to be more strong when you can combat those signals back away from you, and you can keep strong in your own thought of what you have your power over. And that's why I was saying also, where it's kind of like we're breaking free from this concept of flesh and blood, because that's not what we are. Where we are more of this, it's like I see like a hologram, and tuning it in and tuning it out, and how it kind of changes and stuff like that. Well, you want to tune it into this like happy, because you're in distortion, but to get to your true self. And for me, and there's a lot of girls, that doesn't mean like everybody liked their body in high school and everybody needs to go back. I say everybody needs to get to where they feel the most comfortable, but your frame is your frame. And everybody's got a lot that is on them, and they think this is their body. It's like, no, your body is your frame. All the other added on stuff is stuff you've added on, which a lot of the padding and stuff has to do with our toxic environment. Like what we consume is so toxic and bad for us, but it also has to do with your way you see yourself. And like I had said about creating a barrier of protection so that you don't feel so bad, but then it ends up making you feel worse, and it disconnects you and stuff. So, you need to, it's like we need each other's feedback too, because it keeps us more in line to being our best selves. But see, we had a whole run on like, no, we're going to go become our worst selves and be like, everybody just needs to accept us because I want to be my worst self. It's like, well, that's kind of sad. And so, we're pulling back from that. Like people went way out on that rubber band. And I mean, we got people are 400, literally 400, 500, 600 fucking pounds, man. That's crazy. And so, and this is lots and lots of people. This is like a part of our society. And like I've said before, that is what the universe likes. That's the way it's supposed to be, is all of these things that are coming out of it from every experience. There's all these experiencers taking it in these different directions. And then it's like, well, look, you went this far. How come, how do you get back? And you find your way back. And that becomes so much of every possibility, of every reality. And that is what the universe, so nobody's doing anything wrong. No matter, what this world tries to tell you. It's not that you're doing anything wrong, but you will feel more peace. You will find more peace when you start getting more in the groove of the spiritual and the metaphysical side of life. And it's trippy too, because I was talking to my daughter yesterday for a minute, and I said something about, you gotta just get in the flow and not try and control things. But it's very hard to even notice the things, because it's like, well, I got up out of bed, so was I controlling the day? And that is where you have to find your own convenience. Keeps coming in my mind, but it's your own communication to go, it's about living your life and coming into how it is you want to live your life. And, if you don't want to get up, then why are you getting up? So it's like you figuring you out. And it's a slow roll. It's not this like, well, I got to get there. Well, I better be over there. Well, I got to get that done. Oh, I better help them. It's not that, because that's where you got to start finding like, well, am I really doing that? And what we're finding is people are waking up. No, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do this. They're trying to do that because they want them to like them. They want that. So everybody's got this trade-off, trying to get something from somebody. It's like, well, no wonder everybody's not happy. We've got so much toxic, but that's in this pool of dysfunction, which they've created this into a giant cesspool, this labyrinth life of in a cesspool of emotional drama and trauma, and nobody knows what to do with it. We got people just offing themselves to get the fuck out. So over the things get smaller and smaller. And like I had said, even with the eye thing about the healing yourself. But what I had noticed was, so when I started telling my body, programming it in, well, I wanted to get back to my frame. And then it starts giving you like an impulses and desire. It'll start giving you direction. And then you just go with what it's telling you to do. But I don't know, that may be like way harder for some people. And that is where you got to figure out your own communication, how to read your own body signals and how to tune in to what your body's telling you, how to notice whenever it is, you're just doing something because you want to do it. And your body, your body could be saying, no, stop, stop. And you're like, no, I love banana splits. It's got to be like, if your body says, go have a fucking banana split and enjoy it, let's have some joy here, then, go have a banana split and enjoy it. But there's a lot of people, then it's like, well, I'm going to have another, because sometimes, we got to get in more of this habit of, I think, of there being more distance. Like, I don't even know how we got into this whole thing. We have to have a dessert after every meal. And I've got such a sweet tooth. It's like, hell yeah, I'll just live off the sweets. But it's, I think it's just too much, and I keep hearing these doctors talking about sugar is like the biggest culprit to so many problems that we're having. So the, so, I'm trying to get us to eat so much sugar, and it's just so crazy when you see like the recipes and stuff people do. I swear to God, I just can't even believe some of them. It's like it would have been good with 3 things back. Why is it just add on more and more and more and more? It's like, it's so fucking, like how I see it as like, it's this consumption, but how I see it is like this birthday cake that is just like all these colors and so pink and so, and some inside so blue, like all these colors and all gooey and stuff. And it's just not enough. Put more, more, more. And it like, put on some gummy bears. Oh, well, we need some worms on there too. We need this, we need that. Like, it's just like, it's like, God. And I'm glad that some people are starting to realize too that a lot of these people who are doing these cooking things are cooking from boxes. That's what I've been saying. They do these like cooking show things, and then they get out a box. Okay, take this box, put in and it's like, what in the hell are you, like, it's weird. It's weird. It's like our standard just got lower and lower and lower and lower. And so that is where, we need to up the game, man. And people need to learn that they can feel good about themselves. And but it has to do with in here. Just like I was saying, you have to have the will to live. You have to have the drive to succeed. You have to have the in order to, another thing coming in my mind, I can't see it good enough. But anyways, so I had told myself, like, this is what I want and stuff. And then I do all of the things. And then it went back to that. And so I was like, that's really work. And then plus how much you have to use your mind when you're healing stuff. Because like I said, you have all these fear things come at you where you start, if you want to feed into the fear, then, it can drive you crazy. Then all of a sudden you got, your eyeball popping out too. And so you got to, so much has to do with your mind. This interior way of seeing things is a reflection. And so you, like, when you don't feel good about yourself, you will look more disheveled. You'll look more like you don't take care of yourself. You look like, you put a lot of padding on And people won't know that. That's why I said I look at life in a different way than a lot of people look at it. And I see things that other people don't see, because I see the trouble and the pain and what people are trying to hide from. And, and it's like you just want everybody to heal and to feel better and to let go of these things. And especially when you have the understanding and the spiritual of people just carry this stuff from life to life to life. And then when you see people just stuck in the air, just going in circles, it is like you just know, like, this is like something that happens to them life after life after life. And it is like people get stuck in their own patterns. And so I think you break all your patterns through self-awareness. And so it's you who has to become aware of yourself and think about, like, question yourself, why am I doing this, why am I doing that, and stuff like that. And then but the weird thing is what I was going to say about this whole thing about using your mind to create what it is you're putting out there. But it's on, so it's on multiple levels. And because if you are burdened, you can't cross over your burdens by an artificial way. You have to find this in yourself. And so you can create who you want to be. You can change your body, you can change your hair, you can change whatever it is. And then some of this stuff is also a change. It's you changing your perspective. It's like you just start seeing things differently. And that's where you start realizing, oh my gosh, so many of us live in a state of distortion where we just don't see ourselves. There's so many girls that go around thinking that they're hideous and they're beautiful, but it's because they think they're hideous that they go out and show this side. Like they don't, like they won't fix themselves in a certain way, like they think, oh, that's not for me. She looks good, but I'm hideous. And so, there's girls that, and there's nothing wrong if you have certain features with enhancing your features. Don't feel like, we've got a serious, like, way extreme on one pole where we got girls wearing like makeup to the point where I think there's a lot of girls that do makeup that could go work in movies for special effects and stuff. Like, it's crazy the makeup that people do now. And that, just think about the drive into that, the money in that. And not only the money, but how much toxins that they are getting in it. Like the whole espionage and the ones that run us. There's a lot of, there's so much espionage kind of crime shit and all these industries, fashion, makeup, all that stuff, so, and then they're walking hand in hand down the aisle with the people who are providing the medicine once they've, decayed your face. So, and again, it goes through and goes in, and it causes disruption into your metabolic system. So it throws all the dominoes out of whack. So, and then that creates all sorts of things. We got all sorts of shit with people. They've got autoimmune. We got so many mind things. And that's what they want us to do, is be mindless, And so they, but that's where we have to become more mindful and understanding more of our abilities and what we can do and programming ourselves. But when you're programming yourself, you still have things to heal. You still have things to face. It's not just like, just turning yourself a certain way without doing the work. You have to do the work. That is what you're here to do. But you can become your best version. You can become who, you want to be, who it is that you came to be, but everything got in the way. And so, but there, some girls didn't like their bodies in high school. I became, I was, I don't know, I was like I was like almost 5'10". And so, I was already like the size of a woman. And they, so, but there's some girls, that, maybe they like their bodies so much better after they had their first child, or they like their bodies so much better, at different times. Everybody's got their own self-image, their own view of themselves. And there's other people too who go on and or when watching movies and there's somebody who looks like you're trying to see like what you look like to other people. It's like you're trying to see what you look like, because there's so many people who have no idea, and then they see somebody that looks like them, and that's what gives them like, oh, that's what I look like. So many people like I'm telling you, there's just such a distortion of how we see ourselves. And then when people are so hard on themselves, and then they give all this thing of like, well, you got to have these eyes, you got to have these eyebrows, you got to have this nose, you got to have this lips, and you got to have this jawline, and then you got to have these kind of ears, you got to have this kind of hair, you got to have, it's just like, it's absurd. You're born with what it is you're supposed to have. You got it all with you. The color, the everything. It came with the package. You don't have to go and do all this altering to try and make yourself look like somebody else. And then you're just chasing something else. And that is not building yourself up into feeling better about yourself. It's going to make you feel worse about yourself. And you know what? Another thing too, sidebar on that, is because my number 4, he hated implants. He would tell me all the time, I can't even believe I got together beforehand. Then it's like, oh, you're the best thing, oh, please, oh, please let me be number 4, please. And it's like, no. And then at some point after enough that, then you're like, okay, I guess he really is for real. then and then it's like, oh, I hate those things, why'd you ever do that, oh, it's disgusting. And and that was already beating me down because I hated them. It's like, okay, well, that's great, so now we'll both hate them. I don't even have anybody that likes them in the house. Like, that was rough, man. But him saying that stuff is the thing is there'll be somebody who you hate your nose. Your nose is horrible. You think that girl has such a better nose, and you look better if you had her nose. But it changes who you look like. You don't look like you anymore. You look like somebody else you look like somebody else. Like, look at Jennifer Grey, what happened to her? And everybody in her family could have the same nose, but she didn't like her nose or whatever. I mean, I don't know what her whole story is. I'm not just saying her, but just look at like how, just a little shaving of the nose, all of a sudden it's like a different face. And so, and a lot of these actresses and stuff do that, but she was already so popular when she did it. And but then you will always have people who will see what you used to look like and will always say that they like the other better. And so that is also an added thing that people, like, they think all of a sudden, well, if I change this, it's going to make everybody happy because I'm going to love it so much. But you're going to have, it's just another layer to your misfortune of self-hatred. It adds on to it. It is like, just the things that occur after just will add on to more of that. Like, and you could just keep going, well, I love my nose, I don't care, everybody could hate my nose. And but then I swear to God, there will be somebody that will come along who will say, why did you ever change yourself, and why did you do this, and you looked so good before. And it's like it brings you back into a room that you left in your own mind. And all of a sudden, it's like, why? Yeah, why did I hate myself? And why did I think that would help me? Why did I think that change would help? Well, because that's what you're here for. The universe is here. It's not going to abandon you. So you're going to have things that are going to keep coming at you to get you to question yourself. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? And so it's like you can't get away from it. And then but there is a kind of a trap, a bad feeling of like, God, I was perfectly fine before, and then I went and did this, and now, I'm different. But it's not like you go and make that change and every single person in the world is going to be like, oh, it's the beautifulest person I've ever seen, I love them. You're still going to have some people who are going to think you're pretty, and some people are going to think you're ugly. It's just like, well, You know, either you like what I look like or you don't like what I look like. It's really, you know, what am I supposed to do about it? And but we do have this society is like all these people willing to go change their derrieres, you know, for like how often do you even see it? Like it's a lot of work, as a matter of fact, to try and see it. And so, you know, but we let it, what somebody else thinks of it. Somebody else thinks like, well, you need to put on a little more. And then what's even worse is that you get these girls that are insecure and so they're going out, putting out this real insecurity in the world. And then they're not getting all this love back. They don't get all these guys, hey, can I get your number? Because then when they're walking around, they seem insecure and stuff. And then they keep thinking, it's my butt. It's my butt. It's because I've got the worst butt. Nobody will even look at me. But they're putting out this doubt, this self-doubt. So it's them that is putting out this certain concept of themselves that repels the other people that they want to be interested in them. And then they get it in their heads, well, if I go and I change this, if I had a more shapely body, you know, and then you got these fucking medical salesman people who just make money off of your insecurities, and you go into them and say, and then like these people are coming out like everything shaved, everything pumped over here, drawn out of here, put it over here, and they're just fucking with us. It's just in the name of beauty, we're doing this. And it's not like, oh, it's always 100% going to come out right. No, their story, this is the thing, is blowing up in people's faces. And even where they're even going, you know, all these people are into this, going to other countries now to get it cheaper. And then this bad one that just happened in Turkey, another one of these in Turkey. There was already the 4 ladies that came back, missing, you know, one of them. One of these organ things that's just is weirder and weirder by the fucking day. This lady, though, who went in, and her friends, like out in the waiting room. And by the time the lady finally got her, she was missing, and she was already gone. But she was missing, you could have to look it up, because I would say she was missing all her parts or her heart. It was some kind of very significant thing. And she's dead. She went over there to save some money against, I don't know, butt lift, face lift, breast lift, whatever it was, you know, the whole shebang. And you know, what I have found, this is what I've been trying to say, is what I found through the programming, that it starts doing this transferring. I swear to God, it has to do with how you see it. Because even when I went to the doctor for my final thing, where, you know, they look or whatever to see how everything looks. I mean, the scars weren't even healed. I still had, you know, that one even had that little infection that he had so or the incisions. Now they are not bothering me, but man, that took a while. Especially they were like right on my ribs, and yeah, I don't know, it can be sensitive. And we're not supposed to be letting them cut into our bodies. But, you know, I had to cut into it to get the things out that I let them put in before, out of my own insecurities. But so let me think what I was going to say. So, oh yeah. So when I went in and there was kind of like, I don't know how to explain, because it's like where they cut the muscle and stuff. It is, they cut it to get them in there. So like fillet you open to get them in there. And then so you've got like these scars and stuff inside. And on the side, there's like this like dip kind of. And I always, you know, I do all these, there's my weights right there. See, I leave them sitting right there. And so like I get up and be like, well, I'm going to go pee or something. I may stop and do the weights for a couple minutes. Or it depends. Like I'll hear it in my head. And then, or if I'm in the kitchen, I'm cooking something and I'm waiting for something, I'll come out and do them while I'm doing that. It's just at different times, but it ends up being like anywhere between 4 or 6 little rounds in a day. And a round was definitely less than 5 minutes. it'll seem like it's like, ugh, what is this, 20 minutes? You look at the thing, it's 3 minutes? Like, fuck. And so, but you'd have to listen to your own body and what you're trying to accomplish and what you're trying to do. But I was, I was seeing, what was it that I was about to say? So, there's my weights. And so that's what I started doing was the way, well, I do like yoga stretches, balance things. Like I just listen to, sometimes I turn on music and dance. It's like you gotta just listen to what your body is telling you. But when I had asked the doctor, I said, is that going to fill in? And he said, no, unfortunately, it won't fill in. It'll just stay like that. It filled in. So it isn't, and to me, it's doing these arm exercises. So and your butt lifts and stuff through this stuff, doing squats and stuff. You don't need to go to these doctors to cut you up. You just need to get back to using those muscles to lift things back to where they need to be. The signs of the droopiness is the signs that you quit using it. So it starts drooping. When things start drooping, it's like, oh, shit, I'm drooping. I need to get back in there. And so that's when you want to lift things back up, is through doing, heavy lifting yourself, doing things for yourself, not going in for these hack jobs that they're doing on people and cutting us up. And now there's a big problem with a lot of these, not just with those injections all over in the face, the filler stuff, but also with the BBL, like I said, like there's some of these things that there's been some big problems with. And I was just thinking of another thing too. So let me think of that. The fillers, the BBLs, there's just a lot of things that are going wrong for people, because everything in the universe is going to turn us away from this artificial thing, because we need to be doing this stuff for ourselves. We need to be taking better care of ourselves, not letting ourselves go and then having somebody pump the fat out and move it over here and move it over there and stuff. It's causing more issues. And oh yeah, that's what it was, because somebody did this video showing all of these actresses that are going in and getting this buccal fat removal so that their cheeks sink in like this. So and I keep wondering, like, I don't know, like, what are they doing? Because I've got like a lot of fat in my cheeks. Like my cheeks were really chunky when I was younger, but my grandma, who I have the same body of, her cheeks sunk in a lot. And so, I don't know, her cheeks always sunk in. I think I have a lot with her face, too. It's weird as you go through different times of your life, how you notice you look like different people. It's weird. But there is such a thing. The more I hear and stuff, we are like an expression of what was. We're an expression. Like when you think like, oh my God, I'm just acting like my mom. We are an expression of our moms. We are. And it's like the expression of our moms goes out and plays out in all these other realities. And then everybody expresses, and everybody's like this passing the baton. It's trippy. But yeah, we are an expression of one another. And that is, it's important to, come into peace and harmony in that kind of thing. That's why, healing family wounds and stuff, because those people are here to really push you to heal some really deep, heavy, hard stuff. And so, oh, so I was wondering too, because I still have like, ours some chunk. And so if are they going in and they're getting the fatness cut out of their face? And especially at a young age, like this one girl, Hadid or something like that. I don't know. I think these are like Kim Kardashian friends or something. But they go in, so they do that. So if they're removing the buccal fat, and they're going in it, which I can't even, like, I don't even like to bite the inside of my cheek. I can't imagine somebody cutting the fat out of my face. But the thing is like, as you age, like, those people, like, that's not gonna age pretty. Like, that, if you're doing that real young, like someone who's older, like Lisa Rinna, like, I don't know how it would affect her, because she went and did it too. Hers was like it's real sunk in. And but as you age and that kind of does it naturally, then you don't have anything to lose. It's like, I don't then these doctors, they're not gonna sit, they're just gonna feed you off of your insecurities and stuff. And especially because, you can, I mean, you may not get this, like, you want to have this certain cut in your face or whatever. That may not just happen. I mean, you can tell in your brain, but I don't know. It's going to have to do also with your face structure. Like, I don't know if you can completely change your bone structure. Like, I don't know. I mean, but nothing's real. So maybe you can. But, it's just that you keep seeing yourself that way. There's people who change their eye colors and stuff. So everything is about us being able to get control of our form, get control of our minds, our form, all of this. And but I just know, like, there's so many things that you can do for yourself. And then we're going and having these other people do it, and they're doing it in this artificial way. When you do it for yourself, then it is, no side effects. So it's important, I don't know, it's all about this connection with your mind, body, spirit. But anyways, what I just heard somebody saying was that she had just returned from Joe Dispenza, and I swear, is he the bald guy that has had, like, that he talked about the med bed? Like, he's had some people, which I've never been able to figure out, like, where did he come from? Who is this guy? And is he, just a part of, like, not the deep state? Because we got two different things. We got the people trying to kill us and the people trying to, what is that called? Uh, Set us free, but it's a different thing that it's like an older kind of thing, but it's the same kind of thing, set us free. So it is like they're here to set us free, but we have to see it for ourselves. You can't set something free that doesn't know it's a prisoner. So you have to wake up, and that's what the universe is doing, and that's what all these outrageous things happening is, to get you to feel like that. Morty's walking. You see, but he's skinny. See her? I hear him breathing. Now he's gonna go get a drink. Do you need to go outside? Hold on, I gotta let him out because he'll go pee right there. Come on, you need to go outside. I'll have to wait for him to come back to the door. So anyways, if you see what I'm saying about that, okay, so, but the Joe Dispenza, okay, so this lady, she was doing this video, and she was saying that she just got back from I think he had a thing in Florida or something, I don't know, a getaway or a conference or something, where a bunch of people came, and something about, this lady was saying he's taking pseudoscience and making it real or something. But she said that his conference was talking about using your mind to change your body and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so weird. I was just talking about that. But I swear, it's like, because this is like the energy from the universe is pushing us for these changes to happen, to get people to see and to understand some of these things, because they're all caught up in, well, everybody's so caught up in all these dramas and stuff, but it's all these dramas is what wakes them up and makes them decide, that they want something different in life. you know, and this is outrageous, so that's outrageous or whatever. So all of these things, you know, are important that they're all happening. But anyways, the I think that's where we're headed, is that about using our minds a lot different than how we've been using them, because we've been just having them programmed by these other people. And so, you know, that's where you got to reprogram yourself. And to me, you reprogram yourself by just paying attention to yourself and asking yourself, like, why you're doing things. What are you doing? What are you trying to get from doing it? What is it you want from this or that? And he's gonna get a drink next. But see, he's kind of breathing raspy. But when we just drove over there for the little dog that I was trying to see if it was his friend, that one has kettle cough. And they were right touching noses, so maybe, you know, but he puked before that. And he slept for 2 days. Last night he was up every 2 hours, and he peed on the floor, puked, and all that stuff. But he still won't eat. And so I'm going to call the vet this morning, because I talked to them yesterday. And they said who to call or whatever. So I'm going to call the vet and make the appointment, which I don't know when it will be, and take him and see. But it seems it could totally be allergies, because whatever with over here, but whatever's making him nauseous where he won't eat. But you can tell, because he's just like, oh, that smells horrible. And he's not getting a drink, so hold on, because you can hear him when he gets a drink. Hold on. And Stella's right here, so I got to do this funky climb. Okay, come on. Stella is, one thing I've noticed, even having the other dogs and stuff, is Stella has to be closest to me. She's got to protect me from all the other dogs. Can you not get over that, mister? Stella needed her bed moved, and so I've got to move this giant-ass bed around. Hold on, he can't climb over it or something. Hold on. Here you go. There. Morty. He looks so skinny right now, but he has wagged his tail a few times. But he is weak. He hasn't been eating, but he's been drinking. I do have to go out and look at his poop. He's definitely weak. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they'll check him. They want him checked for heartworms. I'm going to definitely ask for diabetes check. And I was feeling like around here, and he's got a lot of heat right here. And so, I don't know, but that could be like a lot of heat right there, because he's stopped up. And that being stopped up, that can also, but I'm telling you, and I saw more things where I was like, that's confirmation to me. That's fungus and this mold and stuff. I don't know. I just think they're going after us in all kinds of ways. And I don't know. I know the weather is being so interfered. The weather, that's the thing, is like some of the things are natural, but some of the things are them interfering. And I'm not sure. I'm not really, like, if they feel like if they kill enough of us off, because they can't, it's not like they get to leave here and go up into the heavens. Like, they're low vibration. Like, I don't know about every single one of them. You know, something interesting, I thought it was interesting, is, you know, like, they took away all the bells. Like, there used to be bells everywhere. And bells, or healing, like the frequency, and it's like the same thing as like humming and stuff. And like how I had been talking about the moaning when I was not feeling good, the moaning and stuff was really making me feel better, and the humming and stuff. And so there's more stuff about that, and more stuff about the bells, and all about this frequency of healing. And they also, there's all these studies out now how using frequency splits up the C word, and it can't stay the same. Like frequency could be used on Stella's cysts and stuff. Like, I'm gonna try that with my tuning fork. I was thinking, man, I wish I could get like a nice big iron bell, but the singing bowls too. I think have a good thing with the frequency, but the reverberation on the bell is so the reason what the word on the street is right now, which I don't know, like there's a lot of words that come out, you just kind of like, interesting, is and they just found a whole bunch of bells buried and stuff. And the reason why all the bells were taken down and stuff is because the reptilians hate them. They can't handle that sound, that frequency or the reverberate. There's something about it they can't handle. So that's why that all the bells got taken down and stuff. It makes you wonder too, if throughout some of the different time periods or the different resets, if it's always been the same people trying to reset us. But whatever it is right now, though, we do have like two different groups. And I did think, when I first started seeing Joe Dispenza, if he's the guy I'm thinking of, that bald guy, and he had this stuff about the med beds on there, that how he just blew up so much, it's like he was put in that position or something to bring information. Kind of like I feel like Joe Rogan is like, he brings a lot of information. Same thing with that Alex Jones. There's some of these people that bring a lot of information, but the information, it like comes from other places. It's like, in order to have the information out, like, because they could easily, like, how many of these people do they just take out all the time? So there's been so many people, like people who have been there to try and help us, like innocent folk, just like people who are tapped in, I think, and get these awarenesses of certain things and put them put them on paper and then present them. And then, they've got cures and stuff, and they just, with the guy who figured out the cars could run on water, and then they took that guy out. A lady who figured out you can cure the C word. I think hers may have been with the frequency and stuff. I don't know. They imprisoned her. They killed other ones, but then you have these people who are out there bringing certain information, and they just, so to me, it seems like it's like a lot of this information is information that it's like a certain side wants us to have. Because the other ones want us to be, totally dependent. But that, boy, I'll tell you, that DNC thing, I think, really woke up a lot of people. It really got people shook. I don't know what all went on. But apparently there was a lot of nastiness, a lot of hatefulness, a lot of not moving us forward, a lot of weird stuff like doing vasectomies and fetus removals in the parking lots and weird stuff. And all of the chaos that was out in front, it's very divided, and I thought that kind of happened when the burning, like there was a ton of us, like it was a whole movement, and they even named it, I think it was called Walk Away. So there was a whole movement, but now, we're to this point of like, the people who have continued going in certain directions have gotten angrier and angrier and more divisive because nothing's clicked on for them yet. But that's what I'm saying. It's like whatever this more extreme thing is what it is that like they've got to heal from other things. And you just got to think about how brutal our world has been for so many things. Like you don't even know some of the stuff that people are here healing and changing and stuff. So, and it's kind of like we all just got to kind of sit back. Like if it doesn't involve you, stay the fuck out of it. But if something is happening right in front of you, like obviously save somebody, because you don't want to be, when something happens like that, it's giving you an opportunity to be a hero. So you want to do that. But when you have other things, like I don't know, there's a lot of things that go on, and a lot of people want to just interject themselves into it and feed off of that drama and stuff. But it really is nothing to do with this. and they kind of, that's even what they do about these things, is getting everybody to get all caught up in these dramas and stuff. But the sad thing is they're going out and creating them. So they're doing that stuff. So to get people to jump on board and stuff, it was really so sick to me. It's so sick. Like, I know there's so much conspiracy theory around all of the school stuff, but that I think how it is like they do the MK Ultra on these troubled people who they find in their systems, because everything is a funneling system. So you get poor people to go to mental health clinics that the government's in charge of, and then you get certain people go, there's everybody's out there is willing to do whatever for a buck, man. It's crazy how, I mean, there's so much more coming. Like, there's arrest after arrest. Like, I see all these different videos of people showing like local news and stuff. This one mayor, he just showed himself to be a real, he arrested a woman who was trying to speak. He interrupted her. He told her she couldn't say what she wanted to say and stuff. It's all on video. All these different people, all these governing people are going to all be taken down. They're all going down. And it's going to be, I don't know, because it's kind of like when people interject themselves too much, that's where they get too built up in their anger, and they're too built up on their fear. That's why you have people who, someone knocks on their door and they just start going right through the door, boom, 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 like right through the door, and don't even know who's there. Like, you got that shit going on. It's like you've built so much fear and division and stuff. Nobody's trusting everybody and stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Don't interject yourself. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on with the instigators, and there's lots of crimes and stuff. But to me, a lot of these things are like, you guys, this was always going to happen. It's like you guys keep on going around, going through life like nothing's going on, but there's a lot going on. And so, yeah, you're going to get dead hit with it, because it's there to wake you up, to get you to pay attention. And so, yeah, you're going to get assaulted. You're going to get all these things because you guys just keep going out and trying to, make like life just the same as it was. And life is in a time of change, and we are in the turmoil before it changes. And so this is what creates the change, essentially. But this, so when you sit back and you build your fear around what's happening to other people, you're not putting it in perspective and realizing, well, they're still going out and doing all this stuff because they have no idea, and this is what's happening to them. So it wakes them up. And so instead, people interject themselves and build up on that fear, like, oh, it's going crazy. He's got this sneezy, sniffly thing, which seems like allergies. But it could be, he could have heart disease and stuff. Like, I don't know what the deal is. It's sad, though, like, to have him come. Like, everything was going good for a few days. And then if he just comes and dies, like, God dang. But, it just keeps showing me that same thing of, like, when I went out there to save that little bird, and it died right there in my hand. That little, I think it was a baby crow. And the crow was out there having a fit and stuff, and I went out and I got it, and it died. And I tried reading, and I see all these people trying to save things, and it died. And I felt so bad. But then the sign back to me was that, but that for that, oh, it's gonna make me cry, because it's for that moment, that little thing dying in my hand got to feel like this emotional love that I was putting out. So it got that little energy, got to feel that love that was poured into it real quick. And that's all it was for. It was just this quick energy of like love. And so anyways, now they're all going to start barking because the neighbor's dog. Where am I at? So let me think, because it seemed like there was a couple of, everything just seems like super chaotic, all of the different things falling apart, and people, different groups turning on each other and stuff. And all of the outrage and stuff going on with the one group it's not, because we're not all going to go into the other group. It's whatever, it will fall apart, or it will be the step down thing, because we're not going into like a one party system where we're going to be under all their control. No, we're moving out of this thing under their thumb. We're moving away from control. That was the squirrel again. was the bread maker, maybe. But what time is it? It's always hard to tell that it's like, oh, so 7:20, I think. 7:25, I think. So, let me think, was there anything else? What is today? Today's Monday. So, there's definitely people who are consider themselves psychic and stuff, saying like that this week there's going to be a lot of shit. There's people saying like November is going to be really crazy. There's people saying the rest of this year that it's just going to be, still, that's enough. It's just going to be crazy, 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 crazy. And it's going, I mean, it's going to, because everything's going to change. Everything's going to fall apart. And the stuff that's going on in the cities is going to get way worse. It's going to get way worse. If you are in a big city and you're thinking it's going to get better, it's not. I go even over here where I'm at, and it's already so saturated with water. It's like, is this just the beginning? Is it pointless for me to even be trying to do anything to fix my house up? Is it going to be completely underwater? It's like I'm just waiting for the universe to show me a sign. Give me a sign. Show me what's up. Like, what are we supposed to be doing? The only signs I'm seeing right now is like everything's falling apart because it's so water saturated, and that it's in the cold, and then the arthritis is Stella with arthritis, and Morty, I'm sure he's got arthritis. And so it's just so moist and cold. It's like, I really don't think we're meant to live like this year round at all. I really think, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my DNA or something. I feel more nomadic. I've always felt like I need to be living in more than one place. I can't just live in one climate all the time. I need to be moving around. So I don't know, but we all have these things inside of us, these parts of us in our DNA that come from things like that, being nomadic in some of their life and still feeling that. That's what breaks my heart, where I see these people who have this gender dysmorphia. And because this girl did this video yesterday, and she's a cute girl, and she's not talking. She's just sitting there with her sad face with the words. And she says that, that she feels so much like she's not herself because she has to pretend to be a girl when she isn't. And so she feels like she's not authentic. She doesn't feel real. And I feel bad, for all these people that feel that way. And everything has to do with your spirit. Like, you got to get in, ask your spirit, why am I here to be this? And maybe it's because you got a little too comfortable being a boy all the time, and you need to come in and see the girl's perspective. Maybe I'm sure we all have places that we're more comfortable. And, if we, there could be a lot of girls right now. If we didn't come in as girls and we came in as guys, we'd be like, I'm so uncomfortable. I feel so weird. So, I can only have empathy for these people who are coming in and being flipped around and being really uncomfortable. But I know everything that we feel uncomfortable about is for us to figure out how to make ourselves comfortable, how to grow, how to heal, how to, figure out, to find peace. We're here to find our inner peace. And, you're not going to find your inner peace always trying to look like somebody else, always trying to have what somebody else has, always thinking you need more, 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 more. There's certain things that they have triggered in people that you will never find inner peace. You're always trying to control something. You're always chasing something. And I'm telling you, more and more people are going to see that all the signs, you had signs from the beginning, and they were telling you to go different directions, and you were always choosing the other direction. And that's where, we always get into this, woulda, shoulda, coulda, I should have done this, and woulda, shoulda. And instead, to just have the realization of like, oh, the universe is on my side. I was the one who was fighting against it. I was the one who was trying to control it. I was the one who thought I knew what was best. But when I just relax and go with the flow and let things happen the way that they naturally are going to occur, and I go to my reflection and my internal guidance when I come across things that I don't understand, then you move through life in a more gliding and not so clumsy and fighting the battle. And so there is so much about just, going in and figuring out how to find your inner peace, how to become becoming the best version of yourself. But there's more of that that is coming out, more and more. And I just know there's going to be a lot about that with the healing centers and stuff. And that, but there is going to be, I feel so certain they would not just take people like you, like, I don't think that but the certain med beds would work on people if they aren't of a certain vibration. Like, you have to start doing something for yourself. You have to want to save yourself. You have to start taking care of yourself. There has to be this part of you, not this dependent side. Well, I just want them to go in and do this. Because there's people who, they're not going to put in the effort of trying to lose weight or figure out what their body needs or any of that stuff. They're just going to go get the band, and then and they think, well, it was made simple for them. And I know somebody who did that, and they've got horrible physical issues now, sickness and stuff like that. But there's also other people who just kept eating, didn't change anything, didn't change emotional, didn't change their habits, and then they just go right back up. And there's a girl right now too, and this girl is just a young girl, and she is on videos and stuff because she lost 500 pounds or something by her, she may have gotten help, I don't know, but she lost like 500 pounds, and she's like this young girl. And so she was all over the place, but then all of a sudden she hasn't been around. And a couple years ago, she got skin removal and stuff. And so then people were like speculating, well, I wonder if she's gained weight back. And if you do go get those belly bands and stuff and you haven't healed yourself emotionally, then you're going to go to your same habits. And but what got me was like, oh, it makes me kind of feel sick to my stomach. So you think of like how much skin you have, and so you stretch it way out. And then, and all of us women who have stretched our bellies out, we know what happens to stretched out skin when it comes back. And so people do that to their whole bodies. So then their whole bodies has all this stretched out skin. And so then they go and get it cut off. Well, then all of that skin is not as thick. You don't have the same thickness. Just like what I was saying with these women going and doing this. I don't know what a buccal fat thing is, but whatever it is they're doing to try and chisel their cheeks, then to me it's like, oh, that doesn't seem like a smart thing to do. But so if you get all that and then stretched back, and so Stephen, with a tattoo, like if it's stretched way out, it would be so distorted. It would come back and it would be gaps and stuff. So you don't have as much skin. Your skin doesn't go back. You don't cut it off. And then it's, you're taking this skin that was stretched out and then you're cutting it off. So then this is more limitation. So then if you go in and you gain and rip that, oh man, fuck. Oh, there's some of that dysfunction going on, because people are all trying to take this like drive-through way to living. And that's not what you're here to do. You're not here to just drive through and have somebody fix it for you real quick. You are here to do the work for yourself. That's how you champion yourself. That's how you realize who you are and what you are, is doing the work for yourself. And so there's going to be all of these, these negative side effects to these choices, these consequences and stuff that people are going to be facing over and over and over. But I just feel like that there has to be this point of, that part of you, because the machines aren't going to go in and just fix you. Like, you have to be fixing you. There's no savior. The machines aren't going to save you. Jesus isn't going to save you. Everything is about you learning how to save you. Because if you matter to you, then you need to show it. And if you don't matter to you, then what are you trying to, do to everybody else? Like, you have to matter to you. And you have to figure you out. You have to figure out what it is you need, what it is you like, where it is you want to be, and what it is you want from yourself. And, and there's like all these girls, like, there's a few things that are really big right now. the going with no lashes journey, the taking their nails off journey, they're growing their hair out journey. There's all these journeys that all these girls do together. Like they go in and talk about it and whatever. And so I know there's lots of girls who like, oh, I hate my hair. It never grows. And I used to do that. Like, I didn't say I hate well, no, I did say I hate my hair a lot of times, but it grew to a certain point and then it just wasn't growing past. It was like at my bra strap and it just would always just stay there. And so I was just like, well, I don't know. My hair just stopped. It just quit growing past my bra strap. I don't know. And so I would, it's like you tell yourself these things. And so you create it because you tell yourself. It's like you're programming yourself. So don't tell yourself. Don't tell yourself like, oh, my hair is so horrible. My hair is so this or that. Just pay attention like, oh, well, my hair is thinning. So obviously I've got a mineral shortage. There's different things to do. Like there's oils or sprays you can put on your scalp, do massages, get blood flow into your scalp. Start putting love and care into the area that is showing it needs it. And when you start turning things around and showing love and care, not just bashing it down like, my hair sucks. Oh, it's just so ugly. It's so thin. It's so rotten. Don't do that. Like, talk good to yourself. Tell your hair like, and it can be like where you're like, looking at pictures like, oh, see, look at high school. My hair is so gorgeous. I want that hair again. I want, how my hair was in high school and, all of that. Start putting those messages in, I loved my hair when I was pregnant and my hair was so healthy, whatever it is. Like everybody's got their own different things. You got to figure out your own. But don't give the messages, it sucks, it's ugly, it's horrible. Give the messages like, oh, I love this. Oh, I loved it. Oh, man, my butt was so good when I was pregnant. I really like my butt. I want my butt back there. But then you got to listen to what it is, your guides or your body is telling you to get your butt back to where it was. And, going in and getting them to cut you up and stuff is not working. Just get some more weights. Just do some crunches. Do some, like, find... To me, what I started doing was, like, look in the mirror. Find where it is, like, what muscle, like, okay, well, I've got a lot of drooping right here. I need to work on that. So let's see, like, I'm going to move around, see what do I have to do to make that muscle work? So this whole region, so if I do a lot of these, then this works but you don't want to do them fast. You want to engage the muscles. So you want to make the muscle work, but you can figure out what things. So, and, if you have no clue about any exercises, you've never seen any, you don't know any, and there's so many videos. There's a zillion videos. There's in all sorts of ranges. You can find every single thing, and you can take bits and pieces out of them. So, that's putting time into you, going and doing research and figuring out, like, okay, well, if I lift like this, I need to keep my knees straight. I need to make sure I do this. I need to not do whatever it is. You learn your body and wherever it is that you've been, starting from. Like if you really let everything really start drooping and stuff, you may be starting at like, whoa, lifting up a soup can is a lot. I'm like, I gotta really start low, but you'll build up. Don't get it all down. Just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep building because you will get back to where you want to be. You just don't stop. You just keep going. Consistency and building and self-talk, loving yourself and detoxing, eating right, it's all lifestyle. So, if you're taking care of yourself, then it's going to start showing. And when you're not taking care of yourself, it does show. And then people get very insecure about it and they want to blame other people like it's their fault for noticing. It's like, but you're putting it out there. Be glad that you're being noticed. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, that's today's lecture, today's TED Talk. So it's so weird when I start because I have no idea. I thought I was going to be talking about something else and then it just goes blank. And I have no idea what it was. And it's like, all I can see is this other thing. So anyways, that's our talk for the day. So just remember what you're doing here is learning how to love yourself, how to love everyone, and how to have a loving day because it's all up to you. So I'll talk to you later.